Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out of thanks and appreciation to Moon Harvest, Amish Earther, Naughty Thumbnails, Mitch Kennedy, Original D-Rose, Rod, The Name's Burley, Twad Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, JMels24, Unamento, Emma, Iron26, Endless, Flat Earth Sage, Golden McKinn and Retro Bill, More Books, Cannabear, Fibre Oats, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Mel B. Styles, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Reese Pound, Del West Watson, Maria Neeland, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Life is Short, Texas Mike, Tina Baker, and David Wayne Foster. Thank you very much to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Right. What were we saying? Yeah, but that goes with the territory with the BS being on TikTok, and BS is everywhere, really. I mean, where isn't BS, so to say?
Well, BS will be promoted as long as it is not in opposition to government sanctioned BS.
In other words, bullshit. Bullshit will be promoted. We can just stop there.
Well, I mean, there's some flat earthers that talk bullshit and they're not promoted, you know what I
True.
mean?
True.
So it just depends on where you rank, like on the BS meter.
I don't know, man. I watched some videos from Gaza last night. I'm just sick to my stomach, man. I feel sick and dirty, and I'm so angry and sad. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm feeling, man. What's going on over there right now is like I have no words for it, man. I know we can't talk about it here, but
Wait, okay, since we can't
oh
talk about
God,
it,
yeah, man.
let me add this thing quick. Hey, Nathan,
God
could
help
you
those people, man.
wait? Hold on, Mighty. I gotta ask Nathan something. Nathan,
God, bro.
could you wrench B as a buzz? I had him post just for that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he's very helpful with well, I don't have to explain. I'll just say wrench him and that's it. But thank you, Nathan. So, anyways, go on again, Mighty Mush. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Nah, there's really not much more to say, bro. That's that's it.
Yeah, I haven't been following any of that stuff either, so I don't really know.
Well, yeah, you should know what's going on, bro. You should know what's going on. You don't have to watch it like I did to ruin your life. Like my life is fucking. I can't take it no more, dude.
But
So many children, so many.
you're not
Dude,
convincing me to watch it. You know that,
there's
eh,
no,
by
yeah,
saying that.
there's nothing to laugh about, bro. I'm just telling you.
I'm not.
Like,
I'm just.
there's nothing to laugh about, bro.
You watch JLB?
No.
Wasn't talking to you. Mighty Mush.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
You watch JLB?
JLB? No, what's that?
John LeBon? Just watch a couple of
No.
the most recent John LeBon videos. He makes a couple of recommendations of I don't know what you call reporters that aren't being paid by the BBC. Us, when we're reporting on stuff and out on the field, you know.
Yeah.
YouTube
I'll
reporting.
check it out. What's his channel? JLB?
Yeah, John LeBon. JLB.
Okay, got it.
But it's not specifically
Will do,
him.
man.
You might not like what he has to say, but the recommendations for the Lex Luthor, I think, is one of the recommendations he makes. And Lex Luthor publishes a few videos of other people who've made documentaries, but it'll lead you down a little rabbit hole, is what I'm saying. Have fun.
Yeah. I pretty much have an idea of what's going on, bro. Like I'm, deep into the subject. I guess I don't follow that particular person, but I saw some random videos from the reporters inside of the city itself, like inside the camp. Concentration camp is what it is. And
Concentration
it's
camp.
just horrific, man.
Okay,
It's what it
fair
is. Gaza Strip, it's what it is, bro. It's been concentration camp for past 70 years, since
No, I'm
1947.
aware. But yeah.
So,
Anyway, let's not continue this conversation. As I say, check out a
yeah,
few
gotcha.
JLB videos.
Got it, brother.
Look at some of the recommendations
Yes,
he
sir.
makes. Have an open mind as you do so. You'll have fun, I promise.
Okay. Thanks, man.
It's just because you said no joke. I'm trying to lighten your mood, give you some entertainment.
Oh, okay.
JLB is incredibly sarcastic. Let's just get that clear. Some people off the cuff may not know
So
that.
maybe,
So you might not
maybe
be.
I don't want to go that route. I'm not ready for sarcasm when it comes to this issue.
Don't worry about
Or-
it. Look, you can take a recommendation without fear of being offended by sarcasm.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. I
Okay.
promise.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
Will do, bro. Thank you.
no problem. Put it into
Are you
context.
still
JLB and I personally have battled over flat Earth, specifically about axial rotation, on numerous occasions. It's not like he's a fellow flat earther. I'm not recommending him for those reasons. We're on a different subject that I'm trying to segue back onto flat Earth. Hence me talking about our lack of flat Earth connection with JLB. As weird as that is, it still counts as a segue. Amazing, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you mentioned him yesterday too. He came up for some reason. Didn't
Yeah,
you?
I'm a big JLB fan.
I'll check it out, man.
how do
He
you
keeps
spell his
mentioning
name
that he
again?
wants to
John
interview me,
Lamont?
right? But whenever I'm in his chat, so whenever there's a live stream, I'll be hanging around taking the piss. He likes to be sarcastic and take the piss, so do I. So that's probably why I like him. But anyway, he'll be like, "You got to have a chat. You got to come on and have a discussion with me." And he's got a whole paywalled up community. And he wants me to have a chat with him, presumably for that community that he's built over quite a number of years. But I've just always gone, yeah, whatever. And that's about it. I'm sure I've been on his show a couple of times, and when that came up in his chat, he kept mentioning various different platforms, and I was like, yeah, I've been on there.
All right, I
Remember
found
the
his
name
channel
of the
again.
specific one that came up that particular time. That's why it's gone silent, because I can't remember the bloody name of it now. They just come up and you go, oh yeah, I remember going into that forum. They kept me waiting for bloody ages before they allowed me to be part of the discussion. Like the little things like that stuck in my mind about that. But I can't remember the name of the forum itself, but it's like a fairly reasonably well-known conspiracy, like a Reddit forum or something similar. At the moment, JLB's into conspiracy no poll on Reddit. Not that I've ever frequented that particular website, Reddit, that is. That may be a lie. Maybe I've been on Reddit, inadvertently been on Reddit without realising it, maybe.
So it seems like you really like the personality of JLB.
Hey,
It's,
Righteous, can you send me a link and save me a
I-
couple of minutes?
I posted him in main chat.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Yes and no. To watch on YouTube, brilliant, Righteous. However, I think I wouldn't want to be around him for more than probably a day at the most before he would become irritating. For a start, I think he's an alcoholic. Well, I've known a few alcoholics. They do become quickly irritating when they need their booze. I'm a smoker, so I irritate my wife greatly when we go out with the kids, because obviously you can't just start smoking around children. So there's got to be a point in the day where I've run out of nicotine and I want to go and smoke, therefore I'm miserable and want to go home quicker than the kids do. But I've got to sort of, rein that in for obvious reasons, right? Well, that isn't quite as bad as a boozer, in my opinion. Now, that's just because it's my addiction, as opposed to someone else's, which I can be irritated with and moan about. But you know what I mean? My vices aside, boozers get irritating quickly because they need to go off and stop what you're doing for booze. And, booze to acquire is an ordeal. You're not just allowed to carry around a bottle of vodka and be boozing all the time. Although people do that.
Hey, Nathan,
I didn't
have
know.
you talked to LeBon since we figured out all globe claims require a flat Earth?
Not actually verbally, but in respect that I have communicated back and forth with John LeBon frequently since then via his live chat. Then, no, you could say I haven't, or yes, you could say I have. Depends on how you look at it.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because the 2 points of axial rotation in the sky, does he know that you need a flat plane to even describe that happening?
No. When he last came, he had the argument that he is proposing taken apart based on its fallacious reasoning, i.e., it's an affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy, to say that if the Earth is a sphere with an axis of rotation, we will observe 2 points of rotation. We do observe 2 antipodal points of rotation, therefore Earth's a sphere rotating. That's an affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy. So that was where we got with John LeBon last time the discussion came up.
Right, but it's not if the Earth's a sphere, you'll observe that, because that doesn't work, because you need a flat plane. So if the flat plane is 180 degrees out of phase with itself, you'll observe 2 points of antipodal axial rotation. Yeah, you can't even beg the question right anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and yes, the question you're pondering is, was your last discussion or interaction with JLB prior to Highway 90? Or do we call it Route 90? Route 90 is too much like a route function, which I don't like. So it's got to be Highway 90, eh?
Well, it's always the mathematical description that requires a flat plane, and they love their math. So I like Route 90.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the one that flows off the tongue, right? Because it's Route 66 and this is Route 90. And the 90 bit doesn't even need explaining. Route, I suppose, as long as you don't confuse it with a root in mathematics, then you're all right. It's going to be Route 90, I know it is. Well, I've got to change a setting on this.
Well, the thing is, it would be fine if it was Route 90, because even their mathematics need a plane of reference, for all their reference frames. They need a plane of reference. It's crazy. At the bottom of this, flat Earth is everywhere.
Yeah, I would agree. It's epic. Let's just call it what it is. Route 90, once built, there's obviously a lot of little people underneath that are crawling around on those back roads that we can, what's the word? Holler? Is that how you'd say it? Yoller, or I was going to say holler. Am I right? Is it holler? Do I sound like a dumbass when I say holler? Is that a wrong word? Holler, like, yo, you're going to need a flat earth for that. Check out Highway 90. Route 90.
Yes, that is holler. That would be
Holler.
holler.
Yeah, I thought it was.
That's a southern thing, though. So I don't.
You're southern, aren't you?
I don't know. Yes.
Not that I'm any particular expert on, regional dialect and accents in the States, but beyond what is presumably commonly known.
Well, what's happening right now is where we have, the way the media is set up, regional dialects are becoming a thing of the past. You're not, like, I don't speak as Southern as the generation before me. It's all becoming one language.
I know what you mean. It's only upon hearing someone's twang in a personal, not personal, in a sentence that has a particular phraseology that brings out some, not Americanism, but regional Americanism, let's just say. Then you go, that guy's Southern. But up until that point, you wouldn't know either way. You wouldn't know where half of anybody comes from. There's the exception because some people, in my opinion, play up to it, like Neil. A bit like
Right.
Londoners.
Like,
I get the impression. Sorry to cut you off. In London, there's a certain type of person that will play up the whole Cockney thing and being London, right? And I get the impression, I don't know, that that's similar in New York. There's a certain type of person that will like, yeah, I am from New York. Therefore, I'm going to give you this New Yorkness in the way I talk. Maybe
yeah,
I'm wrong.
those are the stronger enclaves, I guess, of dialect, but they'll eventually break down to the because media is overriding and pervasive in everything we do, so it'll eventually break down as well. Like you said, even when you try to ignore it, it's there in your face anyway because everyone around you is doing it, you know?
Right. Now, I also appreciate that it can rub off, as you get into a different place. I had a very strong Birmingham accent when I lived in Birmingham, and then I went and trained as an actor, and that went away. For the most part.
Well, yeah, I was raised originally in New Jersey until I was 6. So I had a dialect that was more similar to Neil's than it is, now. But because I've spent so long in the South, I've lost it.
I hear B sometimes say he can pick up the Burmese coming in your voice sometimes. Like sometimes you'll slip a word or two.
Yeah, when I'm angry. Suddenly I go all Birmingham.
Is that what I'm hearing? The difference in the like when you're actually mad and playing to be mad?
Yeah, it's like women in labour, right? They're not going to swear in some foreign language that they've learnt subsequently. They're going to swear in their mother tongue when they're giving birth.
But back to the original subject, I would like to see you have a discussion with JLB and uh, see how his claims stack up now.
Yeah, me too.
To...
Every time he suggests it, I'm like, yeah, definitely. And then it'll come up now, like we're discussing it. But beyond that, it doesn't ever, materialise. I'm sure he'll drop me a line. Yeah, I'm sure I've got. Perhaps he's changed his Skype information. I'll try him on Skype. I'm sure I have actually got him. I'll hit him up. Maybe he's waiting for me to say to him, "Oh, you said, you've hinted enough times, so here I am contacting you."
Because I can't really think of any claim they can make where they wouldn't have to deal with it.
Oh, I see. You want me to talk about flat Earth with JLB? Oh, I don't know. If he chose to discuss that, which obviously is my subject matter expertise, but fine. But I don't necessarily want to talk to JLB to proactively talk about flat Earth with him. I think he's got other more interesting things to talk about. That's why it would potentially be an interesting discussion. Maybe he has the same attitude. On the other hand, like most people, he's probably like, "You want to talk about what I want to talk about? Wonderful. Let's talk about that then. I know about that."
Well, he thinks he knows about the shape of Earth, doesn't he?
Again?
He thinks he knows what the shape of Earth is. I thought he was a glober.
I don't think he takes a position on it. He knows where the lies are. He doesn't think he's on a globe. I'm pretty sure of that fact. He spent several years doing the Ball Earth Skeptic Roundtable.
Really? I thought when he was on your show, he almost seemed like he did believe.
Just being able to fight a globe Earth position against a flat earther would be the typical stance that he would take in a similar vein to us not being a globe believer, right? He hasn't taken a flat earth stance because he's seen what is flat earth and despises the same things we despise. Therefore, has chosen to detach himself from it. Not too dissimilar, but by the same time very different to Bev, in the respect that he doesn't want to be associated with a load of Muppets all regurgitating the Feast of Nonsense, none of which he agrees with. Therefore, he can do one of two things: either take the Ball Earth stance against the flatties because he's heard it and he's just essentially regurgitating anti-flat Earth garbage, which obviously he's in for a shock when he comes here and does that, and was and did. But the other alternative is to just appreciate where you've been lied to as far as being on a ball and go, maybe it's beyond my abilities to figure out what the actual shape of Earth is. Obviously, we've recognised there is no shape to a plane as it's measured, but nevertheless, that might be the point that he's reached. And frankly, I don't care. Beyond that, I can summarise what I speculate his position may be, but I know he's not a globehead. That's for a fact. He's done, like I say, the Ball Earth. Go and watch it. I'm sure it's on YouTube still somewhere. Ball Earth
I've
Skeptic
seen a,
Roundtable, and he's got all
I've
of your
seen a good
familiar
part of it.
faces on there. He had Jeran, he had allegedly Dave, he had. I don't think he had me. I was watching it, so I don't think I ended up being on the Ball Earth Skeptic Roundtable. Unless I was very high that day. Anyway, the point is, you've got Dave Weiss, you've got Jeran, you've got allegedly Dave, all sorts of people, Matrix Decode, that all joined him, as guests. Some of them were, regulars, and some of them less so regulars. But yeah.
You described some of the purveyors of the Feast of Nonsense and that.
Yeah, you can
when
you
were
can you can watch
people.
JLB's journey into not despising their nonsense and rhetoric, but obviously pulling it apart as well, like we would. I'm not gonna like some random videographer nobody's heard of if they're listening to this on the basis that he's a complete numpty. He's not. He's a total skeptic. One step up from an auto hoaxer. He knows how to do primary source research. Wonderful. 2 boxes ticked for me.
Yeah, I've seen those
Well,
skeptic
then,
videos, or at least a good part of it, and they were very good. I liked them in there.
Right. It's like when someone comes here and starts telling us about no forests, and then they go, "Hold on, weren't you on the no forest roundtable?" Yeah, I was. All right. Well, what did you have to say on the subject? I thought it was nonsense, and I made it absolutely clear. What? But because I was on the roundtable, suddenly I think there's no forest on a flat Earth, as described in that nonsense rhetoric. Well, no. Everyone on the roundtable
it
did.
would be like saying.
Say again.
It would be like saying that just because you were on the Flat Earth Roundtable or the Globe Earth Skeptic Roundtable, that you were a Globe Earth skeptic because you were there.
Hey, good afternoon.
Morning.
Hey, but if
Hello.
Neil's out
Good
there,
afternoon.
shout out to Neil, man. Come back.
We're having some internet issues by the
Yeah.
looks of things. I don't know if it's my end, but for some reason,
Well,
our internet's not
YouTube.
giving us a great YouTube video. But Arwen's must be telling you that and tell me it anyway. Go ahead, Arwen. Is it not working
Yeah,
live? Yes, I
YouTube
can see.
isn't going live for some reason.
Yeah, it seems to have an issue. I don't know why. We'll continue as is, and I'll see if I can troubleshoot the issue. With a bit of housekeeping, any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge, formerly known as the curve of the Earth?
Well, they can look for a physical blockage on a flat plane, I guess. Won't do them no good.
Swan.
Not since the 1st of January 2020 with the Black Swan.
And 2 days ago, Bacon said curvature is below the refraction of the horizon. So
Oh yeah, below the
let's find it.
refraction of the horizon.
Remember that, George? You were right there, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Quoting him verbatim.
Interestingly enough, the refraction is also below the plane of the horizon too. So,
All right, any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Well, it is storming really hard here. Almost gives me the feeling like there's actual Coriolis deviation happening. But of course it
You're
isn't.
going to need R for that.
Yes.
well, if you're talking about how weather patterns change based on their latitude, you got another problem.
No, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the assumption that, well, the wind has to be blowing all the time, right? Because the Earth is spinning underneath. Well, it's blowing really hard right now, so it almost makes me feel like the Earth could be spinning, but another moment, then the wind's going to be still, and that wouldn't happen on a spinning ball Earth.
Any
But you're going
evidence
to have you're
Go
going to need
ahead,
a
go ahead.
planar of reference for your Coriolis. Moving towards the equator or towards north, you're going to move on the coordinate system, which is the planar of reference.
Well, I like that. That might be better.
We may have to give up on the live stream if I can't troubleshoot this. I think it may be my internet as it cut off yesterday evening and left us without internet for about half an hour. Maybe I'm having the same problem today. It's not actually my computer for a change, it's my internet connection, which is a shame. I'll
But you're
keep trying
coming
to
through
troubleshoot.
loud and clear. How could it be your internet connection?
Say again? Well, I don't
You're
know.
coming through.
What do you want me to say? I don't know.
Are you sure it's not just like the feed is changed or something from YouTube? That the code is off?
I don't think so, because it wouldn't have connected in the first place. Before I actually pressed go live, what I do is I connect to it temporarily and not press the actual go live button, and check it's all working and all functioning and it all looks good. Then, with it as live, like it's streaming to YouTube, just not actually connected to the audience yet, once that's all fine and working, I can see a feed, a preview, I'll then press the go live button. Literally, instantly, as soon as I pressed it, it's like, your bitrate's too low. I'm like, what? It wasn't too low to give me a preview and have this conversation with Arwin. So you're like, maybe it's just a random YouTube issue. As I've been plagued with hardware and computer and then software issues, having an internal internet issue with YouTube, it's part of the course, isn't it?
Uh-oh.
Being
Have
cobbled.
you been tinkering again, Nathan?
Say again?
Have you been tinkering again?
No, I've been tinkering for about 11 months straight, Arwin. But yeah, other than that, tinkering, no. But my point is, everything's functioning, right? My computer hasn't fallen over. That's not the issue, is it? Anyway, babbling about this for an entire live stream is not going to be much entertainment. So we're still recording, and this will go out as a uncut and after show, regardless of how the live stream functions. So, any evidence or scientific evidence of gravity?
Nope.
Are you talking about the eccentricity of objects in motion?
Here comes the Lamborghini.
Could stop streaming and then try and reconnect, see if that works. It'll tell me, like, with a countdown warning, oh, you've got no data. There it goes, no data. Right, so let's connect again. If that helps.
Well, you need to redo the intro.
No, I mean, we're still streaming. It's just going to try and... Hold on a second. Don't distract me.
Any evidence you can have gas pressure without a container, guys?
Well, you definitely need a container for that. You might not need a flat plane, but the container definitely.
Okay, I mean, the OBS is
Wait,
now
I
saying we're
thought you just
connected
need
perfectly,
gravity.
so I think I've managed to troubleshoot it.
Yeah, we're live.
Excellent.
I can see it.
Yeah, I don't know how much
yeah.
of the previous bit went out live, so should I do another intro? Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and we are joined by Refracted Curvature, Righteous Voice. Let's try that again. Righteous Force, Arwin, the Adam Meekin, Brian's Logic, and a whole bunch of people in Discord. Welcome, one and all.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Good to see you all on
Hello.
YouTube.
Good
So
afternoon.
glad that we could make it after all.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'll know what to do next time, though. Just stop the broadcast, wait 10 seconds, and then start it again. Anywho, not what I was expecting technical issues from YouTube this morning, but we're halfway through housekeeping, and we are recording all of this nonsense that we've had to endure while you were just sat there looking at a whirly whirl, presumably live. We'll carry on with housekeeping. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Not yet.
Well, if you're a heliocentrist trying to describe a phenomenon, you'll need a plane of reference for that.
Well, wouldn't they have to be physics?
When you say physics,
To-
do you mean physical?
Well, yeah, I mean, they'd have to prove that they're dealing with the physical even before they could even attempt to do anything, wouldn't they? They'd have to at least get that much. How would you form a correct scientific hypothesis without the physical? How would you do it? But I know QE would say that light is technically physical because it's energy, but they don't know what they're dealing with. So how could they ever produce a correct scientific hypothesis? I don't see how that's possible.
Shout out to Shatner's
Yeah, it's not
Bassoon,
tangible.
who's been a member for a very long time, 31 months. It's just bloody amateur hour here today. Please share the show. How dare you? This is the height of professionalism, I'll have you know.
Well, if the subject matter we were dealing in was if the stars are physical, that might be the best route to take. But this is a flat Earth topic, right?
Are you asking?
Brian.
Well, why you ask me, John? Say that again, sorry.
Well, if we were having a debate on whether the stars are physical, that would be a great position to take. But this is a flat Earth debate. Wouldn't it, just to get to the heart of their problem, be as quick to say that if you're going to describe your phenomenon, you'll need a plane of reference for that?
Well, yeah. I mean, they can't deny the plane of reference. So, but that I'm talking about more from their point of view. For them, like us to ask them to produce a valid scientific hypothesis is it's not. I wouldn't say unfair because obviously they are claiming to be science, or someone claims they're science. But our first question would be, what are they? You know what I mean? Because that's what they'd have to validate what they are before they could even form a hypothesis. If you know what I mean. Can you knock on them? You know, are they physical things you can hit? You know what I mean? What's going on there? You know, because if you don't know anything about them, then how are you going to? You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking stupid, but it just makes no sense.
You're right. You're right. But I'm saying when they try to describe what they are, they're going to use a plane of reference.
Well, yeah, they can't not use a plane of reference because if they're going to describe the positions they're in and how and their movements in relation to each other and to us, even within their paradigm, they're going to require a plane of reference. That's true. That's correct. But as far as what they are, you know, sorry, Adam.
This was I don't know if anybody saw Sleeping Warriors presentation on Flatsoid last night, but that was
I watched it today. That's why I'm asking that question.
yeah, that was kind of one of the good points Tony made. How do you go? How do you assume a force when the only thing you actually measure is a change in angular position and the angular size of something. How do you invoke a force from that? Because that's what they're doing: weights, forces, dimensions. When the only thing they've got is a change in angular position, and as John refractive curvature says, taken from a flat plane of reference. It's quite a leap.
Exactly. John's
Absolutely.
question is actually.
No, they're both good questions, is what I'm saying. But like, even if they try to describe them as physical, they're going to need a plane of reference for that.
Indeedy.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, we do actually have a video to cover, and if you were around yesterday, oh, go on.
Well, Nathan, we could review Glowbusters from last Sunday since QE refuses to do it.
Why would QE refuse to do anything of the sort?
I don't know why.
I think he's bored with them.
He's bored with Globebusters.
That was the impression he gave off, that he was getting bored with their nonsense.
I'm getting bored with trying to get this video to stay on screen. It's about the 5th attempt. Right, let's just try this once more time. There we go. I think I'm all set. Okay, so nice to share a friendly, sort of. This video has been brought to you by Jeranism. So, as always, in the vague hope that we would get algorithmic love from Jeran, were he to respond to our response to his, what would you call it, moderation of this debate between Roohif and Nick. So go and let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. There is a link whizzing its way by in the live stream chat right now. So just click on the link and yeah, basically tell him we've covered this video. Hopefully he'll respond and say, yeah, thanks for covering my video and sending people algorithmically in my way, giving me the views. Here's a link to your video because I've got some words to say about you too. We should see, we should hope. Anyway, go and let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I thought you was about to start with it. I was going to say, before you do, obviously I told Ruth we were likely to cover this. So he's on Flat Earth. I said, is it worth a review video? He said, yeah, on Flat Earth debate, sure. If you do, tell Nathan to go easy on the flurfer. At the end, he says it was his first live debate and he was really unprepared. He was all bluster before the debate, but by the end, I actually felt sorry for him. See how that turns out.
So those were.
I invited Ruthie on in case he wanted to come defend himself.
To preface us critiquing his debate with this Nick guy by poisoning the well slightly.
You know, I mean, yes, obviously.
Okay.
Anti-flat earthers will be anti-flat earthers.
They're gonna win.
Anti-flat earthers will be anti-flat earthers. Of course they will do that, Nathan.
Alrighty. So we're gonna get right into it. Check it out. Hopefully the sound's good level.
Good. So can I share 1 sec?
Yep.
Can I say something, Nathan?
Cool.
No.
So I did ask several times what you meant by curving atmospheric compression. So compression due to atmosphere is a refraction effect. So you have a difference in gradient between the top of an object and the bottom of an object. So each ray of light might be this far apart, but when it reaches you, it might be closer and it appears compressed. Is that what you mean by atmospheric compression?
Should I critique him based on the fact that rays don't exist? And he's postulating how he's describing what rays might be when rays aren't real? That seems a bit unreasonable.
Well, also to
Yes.
that, you're talking about deviation from horizontal. There is no horizontal on the globe.
While the guy, Nick, is saying atmospheric compression. That would involve sphere shape there. So
I don't know. I don't understand the statement. I know the clock's covering it, so I'm just trying to. Atmospheric compression is a real phenomenon. So why does it never, I assume, happen? Is it or when objects are shrinking in the distance? Well, it does. Shout out Ranty. Yeah, Panda Boat, Shark Boat. Some of the hotels we analysed back in the day. That's exactly what happens. You get compression.
Yeah,
The
red pit
more
philosophy.
compression occurs, is the more you get. The more compression you get, that is caused by the greater the limitation to the deck. So you take some of the hotels, you'll see that the higher floors all look very similar, but the lower floors, that's where you'll start to see the effects of compression as the limitation, how much data is coming in that smaller angle because of the effect of the limitation of the deck. I'm not.
Well, is it not known as stooping officially? Would that not be just stooping?
No, this is just compression. So the amount of information that's in there. I say you can refer it to Panda Boat is the one Ranty did. It's a really nice one. It's a boat with stripes on, and you can see how the stripes get thinner as you go down, even though they're not when you look at the actual straight picture of the boat. And same with hotels, like I say, with the different floors. You can see that compression exhibited. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's always there. I mean, if your line of sight is not ridiculously high above the water, and you're looking at something across water, a plane of water. I mean, with temperature stuff and air pressure stuff going on, like in the distance, not only will you have angular size change, but you will, when you're talking about becoming the horizon, something, being close to the horizon, whatever. I don't see how you can't not have it. You know what I mean? I'd say it's basically always there at different degrees, but it's always there at some degree because it's not just the angular size of something that stops you from being able to view it correctly. Although, yeah, I understand that is the main thing. I have never not seen that. I have a super zoom camera. I have never not seen that effect in the distance. It's always there. Whether it be happening because of inferior mirage, giving the impression of it happening, either way, it's the same thing. It's the object being squashed. In the further something is from you, in a straight line, especially as much of a horizontal as possible, then the more it's going to look that way. That was my experience with it, being out on the water with a camera.
This atmospheric compression is a phenomenon.
Okay. Let me see. So does that come through the new share? There we go. Do you mean something like this, where the street lights appear to go down?
Well, not
in
only
the
that,
distance?
yeah. I mean, boats, ships, whatever, driving in the distance.
Okay. So I did ask you 6 times what you meant, and I showed it on the screen. I'm trying to understand what you mean. This is what I think you mean, is that a row of streetlights should curve downwards. So that's what I've prepared for.
No, that's not compression. That's not compression.
No. Go ahead,
No,
Adam. You got there before I couldn't get off my mook quick enough. Go ahead, Adam.
Okay, so you can have a perspective photo like that where there probably isn't any actual compression. Compression is what I described earlier. As you see, the lights aren't going to have limitation to the deck in there. You're fine. So you've just got perspective. So compression, like I said, is where you've got limitation, the amount of data, and you'll get that kind of squashing at the lower points, closer to the deck. So I think we've got Roohif trying to lead somebody who doesn't know what he's really on about. I think that's why he laughed.
Let me ask you a couple of questions. As Roohif is trying to position it towards his opponent, I'll just do the same with you, Adam the Baller. So, just out of interest, Adam, Ball Earth Believer, you coincidentally have been to this promenade or whatever it is, haven't you, Adam? Say yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you know how big this lamppost is, don't you, in feet?
Oh, exactly, yeah.
How big is this lamppost in feet, Adam?
It's 30 feet.
Bloody hell. Okay.
No, yeah, they're huge. You've not
Okay.
been. You
No,
said
no,
they're
that's
not
fine. That's fine. It doesn't
I've
matter.
been. You haven't.
It's arbitrary. It's arbitrary. Okay, 30 feet. Fine.
Mm.
Just out of interest, as I highlight, let's just get this a little bit bigger on screen for the audience as I do it. This one's 30 feet, the one in the near foreground, right?
Yeah.
What about the one behind it? How big's that?
Well, that's not quite 30 foot.
Oh, is it not?
No, that's 30 foot.
30 foot. What
Yeah.
about this one behind that?
Oh, that one's 30 foot.
Hold on a second. That doesn't make any sense because these are very much different sized lampposts in this picture, aren't they, Adam? Why do you keep
Yeah.
saying 30 feet?
Because they're all low because of Earth curve.
Oh, I see. So they're all 30 feet, but they're going down around a bend, like Roohif inferred a moment ago.
Yeah.
I see.
Well,
All 30 feet, but curving around Earth. Hashtag
Yeah.
shit shrinks.
No, I don't invoke
Roohif.
perspective. I'm not using perspective. The reason that they're low, each one's a little bit lower, is because each one's a little bit further on the curve.
I see. So unlike this depiction behind MC Toon, it's gone. I won't make the example. We'll just play on.
Hang on.
Go
I
ahead,
just
Brian.
want to point out that Roohif knows exactly what this guy is talking about, this guy Nick. Roohif is fully aware of what this is. He's been aware of it for years since we all pointed it out to him years ago. And I'm sure he was shown it time after time back 2016 era. Right? He's well aware of what this is. Ranty showed it to him. He's been shown it loads of times. He's just plain dumb. That's all he's doing. And putting the guy in a position. Well, it's the guy's fault as well for not having an example there on hand. But he shouldn't have to have an example, as Roohif is fully aware of what this is. It's not as if it's a new claim to Roohif. He's heard it lots of times. And he's seen exactly what the guy is talking about. Even though atmospheric compression is not the way to term it. It doesn't matter. Roohif is fully aware of what he's talking about. He's just plain dumb.
Just as a quick note, if you're trying to claim any kind of refractive effect, it can only be just demonstrated on a flat plane, as Andrew Thomas Young will clearly cite.
Indeed. Back in the day before Route 90 had been built and Andrew Thomas Young started referencing how all refraction measurements have to be in regards to a flat plane, that's obviously how it's all done. We didn't take that and run with it for the flat earth proof it is. I'm glad we can appreciate and reflect on how Andrew Thomas Young must use a flat plane when describing actual refractive effects mathematically, as opposed to 7/6 geometric considerations, terrestrial refraction. Right on, John. Highway 90's a beautiful thing, otherwise known as Route 90.
Nah, it started out Route 90, but then it was discovered, and discovered especially how logistically ideal it actually turned out to be, even though it was always kind of poo-pooed, like, oh, that dusty old road in the middle of nowhere. But it turned out to be super great, and that's when they turned it into a highway. And
No, it runs into Highway 180.
It does. T-junction.
Is that
just
what you mean?
saying, it started out a dusty old road.
Yes,
Now it's
everything
okay.
shrinks in the
We got
distance.
that.
It never
We got
curves
that.
over.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a minute from here to go ahead and answer that.
Yeah, it does. The end.
That's it?
Yep.
That's all you got.
It does curve. So these pylons are equally spaced, and they curve.
Didn't we just cover this with the lamppost, Roohif? What is it, 2015? So this pylon, this pylon, this pylon, this pylon, this pylon, we're going to call them all 100 foot. Arbitrarily. But they're all the same size. So this one here is 100 foot. I mean, this looks considerably smaller than this one. I mean, surely there's some account for the fact that things get smaller into the distance, and you're begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking assertion in the earth curve maths. No, you already know that though, don't you, Roohif? That's why you're not here, you pathetic man. You're dealing with this clown who hasn't got a clue. Why? Well, because if you were here, you've already had the argument with us. You had it about 6 years ago, didn't you, Roohif? You're pathetic. Does this give you pain relief? Being able to still argue that shit shrinks doesn't apply? that we haven't already pointed out how it's missing from your Earth curve calculator and asserted to be that curve? No, we just pointed out with the lamppost, Roohif. It's just your pain relief. Sad.
But at least the newbie isn't asking him what happened to his geometric horizon, right? That's why he won't come here anymore.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to just say, Arwen. That I don't think this lad Nick knows that the horizon is not a geometric physical location.
Internet issues with YouTube again. Sorry, I'm talking to my wife, telling her that we've got a whirly whirl on the live stream. I don't know. I've tried stopping the live stream. I could try again.
Do it. Kick it and jump straight back in. You'll keep the stream.
My wife's saying apparently she's got her ear to the social media network ground when it comes to Virgin Media's network service, and apparently it's been very sketchy. And as I said, only yesterday we had a pretty severe issue. So what I'm going to do temporarily, let's just go to the photo so this doesn't look rough and ready. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're still recording, so don't assume that this means the show's ending just because I'm doing things. But I'll stop the recording